My sister-in-law surprised me in my own bedroom. Family drama stories. Emily stood at the threshold of her new home, a quaint yet chaotic blend of her dreams and the realities of family life. The walls, painted in soft pastels, echoed with the laughter and chatter of her new family, but beneath the cheerful facade lay an undercurrent of tension that made her heart race. As the new wife in her husband's family, she was determined to carve out her own space. But every corner of the house whispered reminders of the bonds she was trying to navigate. The bedroom, her sanctuary, was where she could retreat from the whirlwind of emotions swirling around her. Decorated with delicate curtains and a plush bedspread, it was intended to be a haven of peace. Yet the lingering shadows of her sister-in-law, Sarah's domineering presence, loomed large. Despite the warmth of the home, Emily often felt like an outsider, grappling with the weight of unspoken expectations and the ever-watchful eyes of her in-laws. Emily's thoughts drifted to Sarah, her husband's sister, who had an uncanny ability to overshadow her every move. With a history of being overly protective of her brother and controlling in family matters, Sarah's visits were often unpredictable, ranging from friendly chatter to subtle jabs that left Emily questioning her place within the family. The tension between them had been palpable, a thin line drawn in the air that Emily felt compelled to cross, but feared the consequences. As Emily lay in bed one evening, the sounds of the house settling around her felt almost deafening. The laughter and conversations echoed from the living room, but there was a haunting silence in her bedroom, amplifying her feelings of isolation. The family portrait on her dresser, a colorful representation of unity, felt like a mocking reminder of the bond she struggled to forge. Each time she looked at it, a wave of anxiety washed over her, urging her to find her footing. Tonight, however, she sensed a shift in the air. Little did she know that the delicate balance of her new life was about to be shattered, and the confrontation she had been avoiding would find her when she least expected it. Emily took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm brewing in her chest, unaware that her sister-in-law would soon cross the threshold of her sanctuary, unraveling the fragile peace she had fought so hard to maintain. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow through the sheer curtains of Emily's bedroom. The soft light illuminated the pastel-colored walls, adorned with family photos, smiling faces that spoke of happiness and togetherness. Yet, as the day turned to dusk, the shadows began to stretch and twist, echoing the tension that lingered just beneath the surface of her newlywed life. Emily's bedroom was a blend of comfort and chaos, a sanctuary that had been her refuge since the day she moved in. The bed, covered in a fluffy white duvet and accented with lavender throw pillows, invited relaxation, but the mess of unpacked boxes in the corner served as a constant reminder of the adjustments she was still grappling with. Each item held a story, gifts from friends, mementos from her past, and pieces of her old life that she struggled to integrate into her new reality. As she surveyed her surroundings, Emily couldn't shake the feeling of being an intruder in her own space. The walls felt constricting, the air thick with unspoken words and expectations. The family gatherings that once felt exciting had morphed into a stage where she constantly performed, trying to win the approval of her husband's family while battling the unyielding presence of Sarah, her sister-in-law. Sarah had a way of slipping into conversations, her laughter ringing out like a bell, drawing attention and admiration from everyone around. Emily often found herself shrinking back, a shadow in the vibrant life of the family. With her perfect hair and radiant smile, Sarah commanded the room, effortlessly weaving in and out of discussions, leaving Emily feeling invisible and insecure. Tonight, as the last rays of sunlight faded, Emily lay on her bed, staring up at the ceiling. The sounds of laughter floated from the living room, where her husband and his family gathered, oblivious to her internal struggle. She could hear snippets of conversation, punctuated by bursts of laughter that felt like daggers to her heart. It was the kind of laughter that echoed with shared memories, inside jokes, and the comfort of familiarity that she yearned to be a part of, but felt forever excluded from. In that moment of solitude, Emily closed her eyes, seeking solace in her thoughts. She replayed the day's events in her mind, the cheerful banter over dinner, the way her husband had looked at Sarah, with that familiar glimmer of nostalgia, and how she had felt herself slipping further away. As she lay there, uncertainty gripped her. Would she ever truly fit into this family, or would she always be the newcomer struggling to find her place? The peaceful atmosphere shattered when she heard footsteps approaching her door. The soft knock sent a ripple of anxiety through her, a reminder that the illusion of peace could be fleeting. As the door creaked open, her heart raced, and she braced herself for the unexpected, an encounter that would change everything in her carefully crafted world. As the door slowly swung open, Emily's heart raced in her chest. She had hoped for a quiet evening of solitude to gather her thoughts, but the sight that greeted her sent a jolt of anxiety through her. Standing in the doorway was Sarah, her expression unreadable, a mix of mischief and determination gleaming in her eyes. "Hey, I thought I'd check on you," Sarah said, her voice light but laced with an undercurrent that made Emily uneasy. There was an energy about her, a confidence that seemed to fill the room and push against the walls. Emily forced a smile, but her stomach churned. "I'm just getting settled in," she replied, attempting to maintain her composure. "How's everyone?" She could hear the laughter in the living room continue, a stark contrast to the tension building between them. "Lively as ever," Sarah replied, stepping further into the room, her presence enveloping Emily like a thick fog. "I thought you might want to join us. It's all about family, right?" The way she emphasized the word family made Emily's skin prickle. The last thing Emily wanted was to enter a situation where Sarah held court, effortlessly charming everyone while she felt like an outsider. "Maybe in a bit," Emily said, her voice a little firmer than she intended, a hint of defiance creeping in. "Oh, come on, don't be shy," Sarah urged, taking a few steps closer, her eyes narrowing playfully as she scrutinized Emily's reaction. "You're family now, too. You shouldn't be hiding away in here." The playful tone in Sarah's voice felt like a thin veil over something more sinister. Emily felt the urge to retreat, to escape the suffocating atmosphere Sarah created with her mere presence. "I just need some time to myself," she insisted, her words tinged with a hint of frustration. Sarah's smile faltered for just a moment, and Emily caught a glimpse of something deeper, a flicker of challenge, as if Sarah was assessing her, testing her resolve. "You know," she said, tilting her head slightly, "it's okay to feel overwhelmed. But if you don't open up, you'll always feel like an outsider." Emily bristled at the implication, her heart pounding in her ears. Was Sarah trying to manipulate her emotions? There was an unspoken competition in the air, a power struggle that made Emily feel small and vulnerable. She had been trying so hard to fit in, to make her place within the family, yet here was Sarah, acting as though she had to remind Emily of her status as a newcomer. "Honestly, I'm fine," Emily said, her voice steadying despite the turmoil inside her. "I'm just not ready for the crowd tonight." "Suit yourself," Sarah replied, her tone now slightly sharper. "But remember, isolating yourself won't make things better." There was an edge in her words that sent a shiver down Emily's spine. Emily could feel the air in the room grow heavy, the silence stretching out like a taut string ready to snap. Sarah's gaze bore into her, the playful facade slipping away to reveal a sharper, more serious demeanor. It was as if she had shifted from an ally to a rival in an instant, and Emily could sense the stakes rising. "Why do you even care if I join the family?" Emily finally challenged, her voice edged with a mix of frustration and defiance. The words tumbled out before she could rein them in, but the confrontation felt necessary. You act like I'm a threat to something that belongs to you. For a moment, Sarah's expression hardened, the surprise flickering across her face quickly replaced by a steely resolve. It's not about that, she replied, her voice low and deliberate. But you need to understand that being part of this family means more than just showing up. It's about being included in everything, sharing moments, and making memories. Emily felt a surge of indignation rise within her. I'm trying, but every time I think I'm getting closer, you swoop in and remind me how out of place I am. The words hung in the air, charged with raw emotion, each syllable weighted with the unspoken feelings that had simmered beneath the surface for too long. Sarah stepped forward, closing the distance between them. You think I'm the problem? She asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. You think it's my fault you feel this way? The intensity in her eyes matched the growing tension in Emily's chest. And for a heartbeat, it felt like the world had narrowed down to just the two of them in this charged moment.